party, and you're invited to Tammy's house party.
And hello, everyone, and come on in. We would like to invite you to our house today. We are doing something I've never done before. Jamie, now, Mom makes a lot of candy, doesn't she? But she's never made taffy before. You know what we're making today? We're making Dutch boblars. Dutch boblars. And this is Heidi Dove, and she's going to make them. Are you Dutch, Heidi?
Yes.
You're Dutch. Now, this is so simple, and it's really going to be a lot of fun. I have my son, Jamie, here with me today. And this is Jamie. That's Matthew, his friend, and that's Andy. They're friends, and they have a good time together. We also have with us Dennis McCarty. Hi, Dennis. Dennis is a former Secret Service agent, and he worked for Ronald Reagan. And we're going to find out he happened to be with Ronald Reagan when someone tried to shoot him here just, what, a year ago, was it, Dennis?
No, it was in March 30th, 1981.
1981, when someone shot Ronald Reagan in 1981, and you were there.
Yes, I was.
And so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to have our taffy pull right after we come back from this message, okay?
How far to Heritage USA?
We're looking for a nice, quiet campground.
So, hey, dude, which way to Heritage USA?
Yeah, man, like I heard they're building like a water park, water slides, the whole bit.
Gnarly, man. So which way?
Really?
Yo, partner, which way to Heritage USA? We're looking for the Heritage Grand Hotel. Little Philly wrote me and finally tied the knot.
We heard the honeymoon suites were so romantic.
No matter where you're from or what you like to do, if you're looking for fun, excitement, or just relaxation, ask somebody how to get to Heritage USA.
Heritage USA?
Now, we've gone ahead, and we've made this taffy ahead of time because it looks to me like it's just about ready to pull. But tell us now how we do it. Let's go ahead, because it doesn't take very long at all. It takes just a few minutes.
It's probably the easiest recipe I've ever made in my whole life.
So, what do we do?
All it is 2 cups of brown sugar.
Okay.
And it's like a recipe, you know, that
You press the brown sugar down?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, okay. 2 cups of pressed down, shaken together brown sugar.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of these things were staples in families, in family homes. You know, they're already food staples. And
Yes.
It's just a real cheap way to make candy, you know, for the little kids, for families, I believe, in Holland that didn't have a whole lot of money. Because this was...
and this is a Dutch treat.
Yeah,
then,
my great-grandmother used to make this stuff. And she was from Holland.
And everybody generally has vinegar and brown sugar around.
And butter.
And butter, yeah, those are the
And
things
water.
you just have around. And so I never dreamed that these ingredients could make something so wonderful and tasty. And Dennis and I have been sitting here with our mouths full of this stuff. And believe me, it'll pull your fillings out or anything else that happens to get in the way. What did you just put in there
I just
now?
put a half cup of water in
Okay,
there.
I have a cup of water. So it's a cup, what is it, a cup?
2 cups of brown sugar.
2 cups of brown sugar, a half a cup of water,
And a half a cup of vinegar.
and a half a cup of vinegar. And is that it?
Yeah. Oh, well, and butter.
Oh, and butter.
Yeah, it said
An
egg
egg-sized
size
portion of butter.
So I figure that looks like an egg right there.
About a fourth.
Maybe a quarter.
That's really a big egg size.
Big
there.
egg. Well, you know, big chicken.
An egg-sized portion of butter. Then all you do is turn it up, turn your burner on, and let it start to bubble and bubble and bubble for about, what, a half hour?
Yeah.
20 minutes to a half hour.
Right, and drop it in cold
just keep
water.
checking it. Okay, now, Heidi, I think that this is ready. You drop it in cold water to check it, you know, when and when it's at the soft ball stage, isn't that the best time to take it out? You've made the hard ones,
Yeah.
the little hard ball, and then you've made the soft ball
Yeah.
stage, and we made this at the soft ball stage, hoping that maybe we could pull it a little easier.
So our
Shall we
fingers
give it a
are
try?
Yeah, let's
Do you
try
think we better cook it another minute or not?
I don't, well, I mean, it looks like it probably wouldn't work too good on the fingers yet. But maybe it needs to get out of that hot pan.
Do you think? Well, what do you, I don't know. Let's see. Let's do you think maybe we ought to put it on for just another minute?
Yeah, a minute or so. But you let the initial recipe boil till when you drop it in a little glass of cup of cold water. It's a softball, but sort of a hard softball, not too soft, you know.
does this cook down now?
Now this will cook down.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
will
it
cook.
does.
So
will
this
cook
is
down.
it right here.
It turns into that.
It's
That
cooked
cooks
for
down
a half an
into
hour.
this. And see, well, why
Keep it
I-
boiling.
I don't know.
I don't think we cooked it
It's
long
really, but it looks to me like it. Well, let's see. How is it supposed to feel on your hand?
Well, it should be hard enough to pull,
Okay.
you know.
What pan do you want us to move? Move pan. Move pan. Closer to the oven. This pan
one.
here.
Oh.
There's this pan, and this
pan.
pan, this pan, and this pan. Oh, boy.
Okay, well, anyway, this is how they look, though, as I cooked some last night.
Oh,
And
and
they
these are
come out
really good.
Sort of like a butterscotch taste.
It's like a little butterscotch taste. And now you said that the ones that you made last night, you twist it a little bit.
Yeah, you can make any kind of, because it'll kind of form to whatever you do. So we twisted some, and so some were twisty, and then we curled some around, and then we just made little squares out of some.
And so it ends up, actually what it ends up is just a little hard candy. And, oh, it tastes wonderful. Boys, would you each like to have one? Now, don't try to chew it. I will tell you, don't try to chew it or pull your teeth out. So just suck it like you would a hard candy. And we took, and because it gets a little sticky, we took ours and just kind of dumped it in powdered sugar.
That was a good idea.
And the powdered sugar takes the stickiness away a little bit. Don't chew it now, or we'll have a dentist bill here. Okay, now it's starting to bubble again.
Okay, that's fine.
And so how long do you think it ought to bubble?
Well, let's give it another couple minutes.
Couple minutes.
Here.
Okay,
Yeah.
and why this is bubbling, Dennis, it's really interesting to have you here with us today.
thank you.
I never dreamed that you were happened to be here in Charlotte. When they told me you were, I thought it'd be real interesting. Tell us what happened that day, that terrible day when they tried to assassinate President Reagan.
Oh goodness, that was a long day.
Yeah,
it was a very long day. It's the type of thing that a Secret Service agent trains for and waits for his whole career.
And thinks it'll
then-
probably never happen.
You're right, and thinks it'll never happen.
Do you always go out thinking it'll never happen?
No.
Oh, really?
No, you don't. Because you have to be ready for it. You have to be mentally prepared for it. And you hope it never happens. You hope it never happens, but the day comes that sometimes the day comes when it may happen.
So where were you this day when this happened?
Well, I was out
The
in front
day
of
started out probably like any other, right?
Oh, yes. Well, I'd reported to work. It was a Monday morning, and I knew I was going to the Hilton Hotel. I was going to be assigned to President Reagan on that particular day. And we went through the normal briefings, and we go through prior to the president arriving. And everything seemed to go fine for the arrival. There was no problem, and the speech went fine. And then, of course, for the departure, my partner and myself, we came out to the VIP entrance to the Hilton Hotel, and we had just arrived at the entrance about 30 seconds or so before the president arrived. And just enough time to walk out and look at the crowd standing out there with the TV cameras and such, and then pick a position to move to.
Now, how do you pick a position to move to?
Now, that's a matter of training over years and years. A lot of times there are agents positioned in various areas.
But
But
you
you look for a spot that's open.
But or do you look for anybody who looks like they might be
Oh,
suspicious or
definitely.
something?
Oh, definitely.
Now, what does a suspicious person look like to you? What do you look for? What characteristic do you look for in a
Well, you
person's
look
face,
for-
or do you look
yes,
for?
you look for nervousness,
Oh, okay.
and you watch the hands. If you can see a person's hands, you know there's no problem with them.
Oh,
But if you've got their
okay.
hands in their pockets,
Oh.
then you begin to wonder what's in the
Oh,
pocket.
do you look at women's purses? I mean, just to, you know.
No. Well,
I mean,
yes, you look at everything.
yeah, you look at everything.
You scan crowds. You look at eyes. You look for nervousness. A lot of times you'll see people in a crowd where the president's coming at you. It's an excited look.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's waiting to see him. But then occasionally you might see someone who is just sort of laid back
Oh.
and staring. That has,
Yeah.
that type of look about him. Then you might observe them a little closer.
Okay.
And in fact, you might even walk up to them and look at them.
Oh,
To
really?
maybe try and intimidate a little
Uh-huh,
bit. You know, just to get a reaction from them.
Right.
And if you don't get a reaction, you move on to other people.
Uh-huh.
But
So that's the way you go in and scan that crowd. So where
I
were
will.
you standing that day?
right on the curb.
Right on the curb.
Right on the curb, probably around between 8 and 10 feet away from Hinckley.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And,
Now, none of you had any, I mean, they had picked Hinckley out as a suspicious person?
No.
Even
no.
afterwards, you probably
Very-
discussed it and had not picked
Well, see,
him
I hadn't
out.
had enough time to look.
Oh, I see.
See, because the president was 30 seconds behind me. I had time to just walk to the crowd,
just kinda
start to
stand
look, and then of course you realize when the president's out when he comes out of the door,
Uh-huh.
because you hear the people say, "Mr. President, over here."
Oh,
Mr.
I
President.
see.
Then I realized he was out of the door,
Uh-huh.
and then almost instantaneously the first shot went off. So it was that
Almost
fast.
like the instant he walked out.
Well, just as he was approaching the car, which was a short distance.
And then what happened after that?
Well-
What happened with you after that? What did you do?
Well, the agents and the police went into immediate action. And myself, I heard the first shot go off, and it sounded like a firecracker. It was that type of a noise, because he was using a .22 pistol. And and of course, as soon as I heard the shot, well, I immediately was to my left, and so I started turning to the left to react to the sound. But as I turned to the left, I couldn't see anything, because he had started firing from behind the crowd. And then the crowd was reacting back away from the firing, and at that point, the gun came out of the crowd, and as soon as I saw the gun come out, I just turned and dove.
And just dove on him, onto Hinckley then?
Yes, and came down on top of him.
And then did that knock the gun out of his hand?
Well, I had my right arm around his head.
Oh, yeah.
Took my right arm around his head, and my left hand, I went for the gun hand.
Now, when was the other man shot, the other security guard? Wasn't he shot at that same time?
Yes.
That was very sad.
Oh, yes.
And did it hit him, and did the shot hit him first, or did it hit him? How many shots were fired?
Well, all 6 shots were fired.
All 6 shots were fired.
And, of course, 4 people went down.
Yes.
And 2 shots, of course, missed. 1 shot hit the window of the car, and the 6th shot went into the building across the street and went high.
So 6 shots were fired before you could get John Hinckley down. My, that is frightening.
In less than, well, it was about a second and a half.
And you finally got the president in the car.
Yes.
What happens? What happens when you get the president in the car wounded? I mean, my.
Well, of course, they didn't know he was wounded at that time.
They didn't know that?
No.
Is that right?
No, it wasn't until they got him into the car and were able to check him over, and they were heading back towards the White House. And at that point, they realized he was wounded, and they immediately...
Did he not realize it himself, Dennis?
Well, at first, he thought that when he was pushed into the car by Jerry Parr, who was the agent in charge of the detail, of course, Jerry fell on top of him. And it was a feel like, you know, if someone lands on top of you in a car, you feel pressure.
Yeah.
And so there was the feeling at first that maybe he had been hurt falling down on the side of the car.
So he didn't even realize he was hit then right away.
No.
Oh, my. So then you just get them to the hospital as quickly as possible.
And
You received a medal for that, didn't you?
Well, yes. There were 4 of us.
There were 4 of you that received a medal for that, and there's only been 14 ever given out,
So
Dennis,
far,
and you received one of those. What was the feeling when you received that medal and realized it was for protecting the President of the United States?
Pride.
That had to,
Very great
that had
pride.
to really be touching.
Yes, very great pride.
I know that you really treasure that.
Yes, that's my greatest treasure in the
Oh,
Secret
my.
Service.
Do you have it with you, or?
No,
You don't have
it's
it
hanging on my wall at home.
It's hanging on your... How big is the medal? What does it look like?
Well, it's about 3 inches long with the ribbon and all, which is a little bit too large
Not
to
much
wear.
to wear.
Yes, a little
Now,
bit too large to
this
wear.
is now turned into a hard... It has gotten hard, so we can take it off.
It's going to be hot, too.
Okay, Heidi, I got this on.
All right.
Okay, and what do we do now?
Just pour it out on the pan.
Just pour it on the pan.
And it has to cool for just
Okay.
a little bit, too. Otherwise, we'll have singed fingers. you know,
Okay.
so.
I'll tell you what we can do. We're going to be talking today about hyperventilation. And if any of you have ever hyperventilated, you will know what I am talking about. Dennis, have you ever hyperventilated?
Not that I know of.
Oh, well, you would definitely know it. If you ever had, you would definitely know it. Hyperventilation is really a terrible, terrible thing because you feel like you can't breathe. You're breathing, but you feel like you can't breathe. And we've got a lady here today, and her name is Ann, and Ann is going to be talking about these hyperventilation attacks that people have. It's called agoraphobia, and it makes you fearful because of these attacks. You're fearful to do so many things. You're fearful to get in crowds for fear it should happen in a crowd. You're fearful to get into an elevator in case it should happen in an elevator. Maybe you're afraid to put on a piece of jewelry because you're afraid that it'll happen if the jewelry is too tight and you find out you can't get it off. There's so many, many things that can cause the agoraphobia as a result of, and it results in hyperventilation, that it makes you afraid to do things. So we're going to talk today to Ann and find out, I believe she's written a book on it, and we're going to talk about hyperventilation, how to control it, and maybe today we're even going to be able to teach you how to relax a little bit and get you out of it. But while we're waiting for this to cool, we're going to ask the singers if they won't sing. They're going to sing Up, Up, and Away in My Beautiful Balloon. And you know, so many times,
Oh, my goodness.
people who have this hyperventilation are frightened of doing anything because they're afraid it'll come on them again. Just a minute, we may have to do this first. Let's see what is happening.
Hot. It's getting hard, but it's
Now,
a tiny bit hot.
Oh, it's a little bit hot,
Yeah.
but it is hardening
pull
up.
it.
Yeah. Do you think maybe we better go ahead and pull it or give it another couple minutes?
Probably give it another couple minutes. Otherwise.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Careful.
Because I think it'll still be.
Okay, sing it, singers, and then we'll come back and we're gonna pull Taffy. I think. I hope.
We will fly. We will fly. We will fly.
And you know, if you have problems with agoraphobia, you're not going to be able to fly up away in that beautiful balloon, as you could hear the singer saying. Okay, we've all buttered our hands. We all have buttery hands. And so we're going to, I don't know how we do it, but I guess we give everybody a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, Dennis, there's yours.
Now, what do I do with it?
Start pulling it.
Start pulling it.
It's hot. It's kind of hot, so pull it around. Push it around. Woo!
Just pulling it and
That's it. Push it. Pull the string. Okay, there's yours, Andy. Yeah!
Are we trying to pull it apart?
Oh! What am I supposed to do?
Well, you pull it.
Just pull it. Now do like this to get it cool, right? Ow!
Is that what we're doing, is cooling it?
Oh, turn around now so the cameras can see you, Jamie.
So you...
People... Ow!
And then, yeah,
Ow.
it's real hot.
Why am I not hollering?
I don't know. You must be having hands in us. Is it hot to
like
your kids,
this?
too? Yes. Oh, look at this.
You pull the...
Now, oh, it's starting to get air in it and turn color.
Yeah.
Ouch. I have never... Ouch. Ouch. It retains its teeth. Ow.
And then you can, you
is
can
hot,
make it
yeah.
into like a little twisty twirl like that. Or...
It's going to be real good, Andy. I just sit on the floor. we won't tell about Andy's teeth. Oh, look at it. It's getting kind of stringy now.
Something to keep
Looks-
the kids busy on a
Looks like an
rainy
old
day.
girlfriend's hair mark.
It's like an old girlfriend's hair. Oh, look. Now, mine's starting to
When
pull
it's
out.
it's starting to harden and get cool, you
Yeah.
can make it into any kind of,
Okay.
make it
Now
into
you
a little
can start
ball
making
or
it into
something.
little balls now. And okay, so let's start forming it now. What you do is you tear off little pieces and you form it. Like, I'm going to make mine into little twists like you said.
Making a little twist.
And because
I'm going to make an octopus.
Oh, you're going to make an octopus?
No.
Oh, look. Oh, I love it. I love it. You always want to do this with bubble gum. Remember when you were too little, you chewed bubble gum, and you pulled it way out, and your mother tells you she's going to kill you if you just put that stuff back in your mouth, or never give you bubble gum again as long as you live? This is on purpose we get to do this.
It'd be good for, a mother on a rainy day to give her kids something
Oh,
to
see,
do.
I'm putting mine into a little twist.
That's
kind of like
yeah.
little twists. Okay. Oh, man, this is fun.
Oh, it's pretty.
What are you guys making yours into? Jamie's making a little twist, too? You're making a cross. Oh, look at that. Looks like a mustache. That's one of those old handlebar kind. Oh, what? Oh, it's getting hard.
Yeah,
It
real hard.
cracks
That's what
when it gets hard.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Oh, now it's going into beautiful twists. You could do this and give it away for Christmas gifts.
It's true. Good Christmas.
Look. Oh, look, isn't that pretty? It's a nice little twist.
Ah, it's getting harder to work with.
It's getting hard to work with now.
Yeah.
Now you could almost break it and it'll... Ouch. Ouch,
trying
you
to-
get cut on this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a little man here, but
Oh,
doesn't
you're
want
trying to make a little man, but it's not
Yeah.
wanting to... Oh, now it's breaking all over the floor. We'll be right back after this message, okay?
Have no fear. We'll be right back.
PTL Records proudly presents Tammy's Best. 10 great songs from her award-winning album, You Can Make It.
Now you can make it. No, I don't care what's going wrong.
And 10 all-time favorites from Tammy's best-selling album, Old Hymn.
Amazing grace.
Yes, 20 great songs from 2 of Tammy's best-selling albums ever, all for only $14.98. And if you order now, you'll receive absolutely free Tammy's You Can Make It songbook, a $5 value. Now you can enjoy the music that millions of people have in their home and car. Tammy's Best. To order, call 1-800-228-2020. That's 1-800-228-2020. Have your Master or Visa card ready and save COD charges. Specify record or cassette. Call now.
And we're back with Ann Javison and with a a subject, Ann, that is really unbelievable. I cannot tell you how long I've had this problem. I have had this problem for years. It has gotten better in the last year. I don't do it as much, but it's so funny because just before I had to go home and change clothes, and I heard we were going to pull Taffy today, and I got a necklace stuck on my neck and tried to get it off, and it wasn't going to come off. And I thought, oh, no, this isn't going to kill me. If it stayed on my neck for the rest of my life, it wouldn't kill me. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. And all the time you're getting hot and cold and sicker and sicker and sicker until you get that thing off. Let's talk about it. What is it actually? What is agoraphobia actually?
Actually, agoraphobia is a fear of having the panic attack. The panic attack can come in odd times, in sort of like out of the blue. But once they experience it, then the fear sets in. Will I have another one? When will it happen? If I go here, is this going to happen to me? And so actually it's a fear of
the attack itself.
That's correct.
Agoraphobia is a fear of the attack. Now, really what it is really hyperventilation, isn't it?
Hyperventilation is one of the symptoms
of it.
You also can, they frequently complain of feeling as though they're having a heart attack or that they're absolutely dying. I mean, they're not afraid of death.
That's what I felt like. I felt like I was
dying.
dying with it. You feel like you're
That's
dying.
correct.
You don't know what's going to happen to you when it hits you, you know.
That's right.
Like I happened to me one time on the air, Vi, and I was sitting co-hosting a show with Jim and realized I had a ring on my finger, and I was just, I was just playing with the ring, trying to get it off. And all of a sudden, I realized the ring was not going to come off. Well, I sat there and just panicked. And I ran off the set to my girlfriend. I said, Linda, I don't care what you do. If you have to cut my hand off, just get this ring off. Well, she dragged me, shaking and crying, over to a cold water faucet and stuck my hand under the cold water faucet and got my hand unswollen enough to where I could finally get the ring off. But it is an honest thing.
It is. It certainly is.
It's not made up in your head.
Absolutely not. But the thing is, what you're experiencing with the ring and with the necklace and is a feeling of somehow being trapped.
Being trapped, that's
Yes.
it. Just not being able, it's like getting in an airplane. The fact that once you know you're up there, you can't get out. See, I like to be where I can get out. Or I like to be where, if I'm wearing a ring, I don't mind wearing it at that time, but I want that thing off when I want it
That's
off.
right. That's exactly right.
I got an earring cut in my ear once. And it was a pierced earring, and I got the back cut. Have any of you women ever got the back of an earring stuck so you couldn't get the back off? And I'd had the earring on for 2 days, so obviously it wouldn't have hurt me to have the earring on for 10 more days. But I wanted it off at that time, and I was ready to take the earring and just pull it clear to the skin.
Absolutely.
That is the kind of panic that attacks you.
Absolutely right.
Is there an age for this, Ann, or can it happen to young people, or does it just happen to middle-aged people, or what is there an age limit for?
There is really no age limit. But the highest incidence of agoraphobia occurs during the ages of 20 to 35.
Why do you think that is?
Well, basically, if you will look at that age span, that is a time of life when you meet your major life situations. You leave home, you may get a job, you may go to college, get married, you have children, you be buying a house, buying a car, there may be death in the family, grandparents are getting older, there may be divorce in the family.
Are you saying that maybe you think nerves might cause this?
Well, basically, it is a problem of nerves. However, what it really is basically a sense of low self-esteem and low self-confidence, feeling incapable of dealing with the issues of life. You can go along fine for a while. I'm not saying that every issue is going to throw you into a panic attack. But when things start to becoming snowballing,
piling up on each other.
Right.
Out of control. Out of control.
Right, and that's correct. And suddenly, you go along, and then there's a straw that breaks the camel's back, and then the whole thing just, I can't cope, I can't handle this, and you literally just kind of give up. And that's when the rush of the panic attack comes in, because you feel trapped and helpless.
But now, what happens when you're asleep? And this has happened to me also. In the middle of the night, you'll be sound asleep, and all of a sudden, you jump up in the middle of the night, and you can't breathe.
Okay.
And your heart's pounding, and you're sick. You get the sick feeling.
Yeah. What you don't get away from your thoughts. You're always thinking. You may not be consciously thinking, but your subconscious thoughts are there. And you're really dealing, when you're dealing with a self-image, when you're dealing with sense of self, when you're dealing with your internal feelings about yourself, you're dealing on the subconscious level. Mm-hmm. And so if those, in that conscious, subconscious level, you have some negative feelings about yourself. Mm-hmm. That's still stirring while you're still sleeping.
Now, you say negative feelings about yourself. Now, I never, like today when I got the necklace cut on, I was just in a hurry. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't feeling anything negative. Mm-hmm. I was just in a hurry, and the necklace got cut and stuck on my head, on my neck. Or the day that my earring, I got it stuck, I wasn't feeling anything negative that day. I was just rushing,
Yes, but you see, you blame yourself for not being able to get that earring off or that necklace off.
Oh, I see.
You moved yourself into a panic.
You move. In other words, you're saying you move yourself into it.
That's correct. You say, why can't I do this? There must be something wrong with me that I can't do this. What's wrong with me? And you mount yourself into a panic.
Why can't I get this off?
Right.
I put it on. Right. Why can't I get it off?
Why can't I control this situation?
Yeah. Now there again. Now I think it mostly happens in situations that you cannot control. Is that right?
You feel that you cannot control.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that. Okay, say I'm in an airplane. The reason I couldn't fly for years was because of claustrophobia, which is part of all this. Because when I would get on the airplane, I got claustrophobia. When I heard that door of the airplane shut, all of a sudden I started to hyperventilate, and there was no helping myself unless, they're just, what do you do? What do you do? I got to where a long time I had to use some kind of a little pill before I would get on the airplane to calm me down enough so that when I got on and that door closed, then I was okay. But now the little pill, all it did was mask.
That's correct.
It just masked.
That's correct.
What I was
symptoms,
feeling.
Symptoms, right. Let me say that you're dealing with really, there are two issues here.
I need to have her mic up a little bit because I'm sitting right next to a gentleman and I can hardly hear her. Okay.
You're really dealing with two issues here. In a normal phobia, there is an outside stimulus for your fear, okay? With agoraphobia, the fear comes from your internal thoughts about the situation.
Oh.
So it's how you perceive what's going on in your life that creates the anxiety. And that separates agoraphobia from most other phobias, where you can deal with the external stimulus, the external cause. Secondly, what you're dealing with is a learned behavior. You aren't born with fear.
No.
You learn fear.
You learn fear.
That's right. That's right.
Do parents unconsciously, do you think, teach their children fear?
Unconsciously, yes.
Because the first words you say to your child, I think, are no, no,
right,
no.
Right.
Is that right?
That's correct.
And you teach them that if you say no, and they go ahead and do that anyway, they get a spanking or they get put to bed or something bad happens when you say no. And so do you think that is the way parents unconsciously teach their children fear?
To some extent, however, it's a little more subtle than that. Every time you tell your child, any kind of a negative connotation, you can't go to camp, you might get drowned.
Oh, okay.
You don't climb the tree, you'll fall down and break your neck.
Oh.
If you want to...
All of us mothers can identify, right? Be careful when you go to that pool,
I had 5 children.
So you understand.
No.
Well, how can a parent teach children these things, Anne, but without putting the fear in them? Some amount of fear is good, we all know.
Absolutely.
There's some fear that is good, but then there's some fear that there's no need for it.
Well, but if you build within the child a strong sense of self, when they can do something, I know you can go to camp by yourself. I know you will be very careful.
Right.
I know that you will be careful swimming.
Right.
In other words, you're putting a positive.
Oh, I see. Instead of making it a negative, you make it a positive.
You make it a positive. Teach them good attitudes. Teach them how to take care of themselves.
Right.
Rather than saying, oh, don't do this, and think of all the terrible horror stories that you can give. Show them how they can deal with the problems in their life.
I had a crazy thing happen one day, and we were at Disney World. And I decided I was going to go on the submarine. Now listen to this. This shows this mind working here. I saw the submarine that all the other people were going on. I knew the top of it was above water. I know the thing didn't go clear under. So I went and got on it thinking I will be fine. The very minute they closed that little trap door on that submarine, oh, it hit me, and I said, Jim, help me. I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And I was trapped. I mean, the ride had begun. There was no getting out of the ride, you know. Okay, so what I did, I came to the thing that I'm not going to die through this. I know I'm not going to die. Everybody else, old ladies and little children are in there. And Disney World does make the ride safe. I've never heard of a submarine sinking. Especially one that's halfway above the water. And but somehow, sometimes no matter how hard you talk to yourself,
Yes.
you still can't convince that inner mind that everything's going to be all right.
That's correct.
So how do you...
That's
what do you do?
That's what my program that I have developed helps you to change that inner mind.
So how would you help me if you were sitting next to me in a submarine, and I said, Ann, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, help me. What's the first thing that you would tell me to do?
I would tell you to go ahead, it's all right. Just be all right. Be yourself.
Oh, be sick.
Be yourself.
Oh.
Allow your feelings. Accept that.
Accept the fact that you're sick. Okay,
Accept the
I'm
fact
in
that
the
you feel the way
submarine,
you
I'm
do.
sick. Ugh. I feel like I'm going to be sick all over everybody.
Once you stop resisting it, you will probably lower your anxiety
Oh,
levels and
really?
you won't be sick.
Really?
So once you accept the idea, well, here I am, and this is my situation, and it's okay for me to feel this way.
It's okay to be scared. There's nothing I can do
That's
about
right.
it. We're underneath. We're on the ride now. There's no way to get out, so I'm scared.
You began right. You said, I'm not going to die.
That's
which
right.
meant, calm down, now you won't die from this. So you began a good program.
That's right.
You started talking to you to calm down.
So you think that's the first thing to do, then? We do the right first thing. Talk to yourself to
Relax.
calm down. Relax.
Absolutely.
You start telling your whole body to relax. Relax. You're in control. Just relax.
Now, we're gonna try to learn to relax a little bit today, aren't we, Ann?
That's right.
Because we're going to try to get this whole studio audience. Of course, this studio audience looks like they're relaxed. I mean, we're talking relaxed. Wake up out there! Have any of you ever had what we're talking about? How many here have ever had claustrophobia? Raise your hand. Stand up, in fact. If you've had claustrophobia, I'm standing, so stand up if you've had claustrophobia. Don't be embarrassed.
How about other anxieties?
Okay, now what about fear? Any other anxieties? Fear of going into stores, fear of getting into elevators, and some of those kinds of fears. Stand up if you've had those. Just remain standing. Well, you know, there's really quite a few in our studio audience out there that have had these at one time or another. What about here now? What about in our gang here? Have any of you had fears? Stand up if you've had claustrophobia, agoraphobia, phobias of this. Oh, I'm in wonderful company. We better not ever all get on an elevator together that gets stuck. Whoa! Okay. One of my next favorite places, Vi will know, because Vi's traveled all over the country with me, and she'll know, Vi knows that she doesn't get on a crowded elevator with me, do you, Vi?
No, we almost have a new door.
I say, where's the door? Where's the door? They can't get over. Where do you want a door?
I was just asking, what about those people such as, well, I feel myself fit in the same category, who is not afraid of fear and looks forward to facing fear on a daily basis? What about that?
Well, now you're hitting at the very basis of the whole problem, and that is a strong sense of self. Those people who have developed a good feeling, a good, strong self-image, high self-esteem, high self-confidence, fear to them is something to be a challenge. They feel good about themselves.
It's a challenge.
You look at fear as a challenge.
Yes.
Why not me? I just look as a way to get out of here. We're going to talk to some of the folks now and find out about their fears, and maybe you and Vi can help us a little bit talk about these. Okay, who wants to talk about their fear today? Raise your hand. Tell us what you're afraid of. Okay. All right. Oh, I feel like I'm in wonderful company today. All right.
Like you, I'm terrified on an airplane, but I'm also terrified of getting closed in the toilet, going into the washroom, and I locked it the other day. I couldn't get it open. I panicked, hyperventilated, looked for a window. The window can breathe, and that saved my life. Just to know that window was...
You were stuck in the bathroom.
I never locked it again. I would go in and I never locked it again.
Okay, so she's stuck in the bathroom. The door's locked on her, and but she looked up at the window. Now, why did the window make everything okay?
It's a form of escape. It may not be a practical form, but to her it symbolized escape.
Now, what should she have done when she couldn't get the bathroom door open?
Scream for help.
So it really is okay to let people know you're scared.
Well, in that situation, she had a real life situation to deal with. The door was locked.
Yeah.
Now, if she had been afraid, if the door was not locked and then she was still afraid, then she would be dealing with her inner perception of her situation, which is different.
Okay. Who else now?
Afraid of a plane.
You're also afraid now. What are you afraid of on the plane? You're afraid of that door closing or what?
Exactly. As soon as that the motor starts, you know, the engines start up, and I know I feel like it's all over. I can't change my mind. I'd like to go up to the cockpit.
Say, stop this plane! Stop! I want to get off! Okay. Excuse me here. All right.
I'm terribly afraid of when I go in an elevator in a hospital to try to visit someone. Because when I worked in a hospital at one time, I got stuck in the elevator, and I feel like I'm going to make doors, you know. But I really get all.
How many here get nervous in an elevator? Yeah, I do. Oh, I got stuck in an elevator in Israel. And what happened, there were too many of us in it, and the lights went out in the elevator. And Paul King was with us, and I started screaming, Paul, I'm sick. You better get me out of here some way. And I walked the stairs from then on. Very good exercise, by the way. Okay, who else has it?
I have gotten off an elevator when I thought it was too crowded. I just, walked right. Excuse me, please, and I walked right out. And while my husband was in hospital for a heart attack, he was on the 7th floor. And for 2 weeks, I walked up and down 7 floors every day. I did.
This is a real thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you think a lot of times, Anne, that this comes on you when you're tired and when you're under anxiety anyway?
Oh, your physical condition certainly does have some effect upon how you deal with life situations. Absolutely.
So you think what do you think about that, Vi? Do you think when you're tired that this can come on you more easily?
You're easier attacked that way, and also you're not near as in control.
Oh, when you're tired, you just give into it. Okay, who else? All right, right over here.
I'm deathly afraid of fires. If I hear a fire siren, because we had a barn burn down about 2 years ago when it just went up in flames just like that. And so because of that fear, now I always panic every time. I can't seem to get over it.
Now that is a result that something has happened, and she can see what has happened, and so she's always afraid then that every time she hears a siren or something else, that something that terrible will happen again, right?
She has associated a real-life experience, and now whenever the sirens sound, she keys into a past experience that was not pleasant for her.
Okay. Yes, okay. See if I can get around here. All right.
I want to tell you how the Lord healed me of a fear of the elevators and a fear of hills. He put me in a high rise on the top of the very highest hill and on the 5th floor.
Yeah.
And don't tell me the Lord doesn't have a sense of humor.
There you were. There you was. I would like to say that God has really helped me with this, because now I can fly now where you could not ever even get on an airplane. The way I do it now, I walk up to the airplane, nobody knows I'm doing this, but as I walk into that airplane, I just put my hand on the side of it, you know how you can, and I just say, I'm yours, Jesus. I'm yours, Lord. And if this is the way you choose to take me, okay, that's all right, because I'm yours. And I always figure if the Lord can't take care of you on an airplane, then he can't take care of you when you're walking down on the road. You know, you can get struck down just as easily in a car or walking across in a crowd or anything. So that is what really helped me to fly, because I say, well, Jesus, if you can take care of me down here on the earth, then you can certainly take care of me flying around up there in the air. And they say flying is 99% safe. I mean, that's like ivory soap, people, and that's been around a long time. I mean, that's a big rate of safety, isn't it? And so flying probably is the safest way to go, but I know still sometimes you'll have a little anxiety attack. But when you can really put yourself in the hands of the Lord and say, Lord, either you can take care of me or you can't. And you know, if I don't want to be here anyway if the Lord can't take care of me, and I mean that. If Jesus can't take care of me and I have to live in fear all my life, then I don't want to be here anyway, so I just soon he'd go ahead and take me. So I know that God does deliver from these terrible fears, and he has helped me. I have it much less now. Since I've really got it straight in my head, I have these attacks much less now than I've ever had them before. I probably don't get them but maybe I've had two this year, which is, that is not a lot for when you've had several in a year. And so, it can be a mindset. Don't you think, Ann, that you can really set your mind that you are going to trust the Lord not to let you into a situation that he's not going to be in control of?
I believe that wholeheartedly. In fact, in my program, faith is absolutely necessary because without faith, there is no healing.
That's true. You have faith to get on an elevator that's going to go clear. You say, what is faith? Well, when you step on an elevator, you have faith that it's not going to drop you to the bottom floor, That's faith. You just get in that elevator and go on up. You have faith in a light switch. When you go over to the light switch and turn it on, that the lights are going to come on. And you don't even think twice about the fact that they might not. I always think it's going to come on. And it always does. Well, see, that's what faith is. Faith is simply just believing what God's Word says is true. And I think the biggest healer in this kind of phobia is the fact that you just put your trust in God and really believe what his Word says. And when you can do that, it may not be 100% sometimes, but I'll tell you, it could be about 99% of the time. It will work for you. Yes.
I just want to tell you that you're a beautiful person in Christ Jesus. And my prayer to you is a double portion of that Holy Spirit.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Okay, anyone else with fears now? We're going to talk a little bit more about, okay.
I've been singing now for about 20 years, and I went up before an audition the other day, and I got so afraid. There was such a fear when I was singing, and after I finished, my legs was trembling like. But I don't know. Every time I get ready to stand before people, it's just an awful fear.
Fear comes over you.
I shouldn't.
Okay, now, Ann, now how can he stop that fear of just shaking when he stands up in front of people like that?
Basically, he's concerned about how he's going to come across. And if he would not think about how he's going to do something and just let it flow through him, because it will flow through him. It will come across. He will do what he needs to do.
And I always think, man, there are people just like me out there. I never mind if a person makes a mistake. In fact, I almost think it makes them a little bit more human if they make a mistake. So what I try to do in that same situation, when I sang at the Grand Ole Opry once, it was a dream of a lifetime, and my legs were shaking so bad that I couldn't stand still. My legs were just doing this. But you just got to think they're just people out there, and we're all the same. And sometimes a mistake doesn't hurt a thing. It just, people don't mind a good, honest mistake. Okay, anyone else here?
I have a fear of airplanes. I have no intention whatsoever in ever getting on one.
I got to tell you another prayer I pray that might help you. I always pray on the way to the airport, and I really get before the Lord on the way to the airport. God, if you don't want me to fly on that plane, you stop me from getting to that airport. I'd rather be in the hospital, Lord, with a broken leg, than to get on that airplane and have a crash. And so I say, Lord, you don't let me get to that airport, help the car to have a flat tire, or help something to happen, that I won't get to that airport if I'm not supposed to be on that plane. Uncle Henry was supposed to be on the big plane that crashed right here in Charlotte. Everybody on the plane was killed. Hundreds of people were killed, and Uncle Henry was supposed to be on that plane. You know what happened? He overslept. He overslept, and they could not get him awake. And by the time they finally got him woke up, it was too late to get to the airport. And God literally put a sleep on Uncle Henry to where he couldn't wake up. So I believe if it's not your time to go, you're not going to go. I believe that God's timing in your life is perfect, and you're going to live as long as God plans for you to live. And if you're not, if it's an airplane, or if it's a car wreck, or if it's just a natural death, I believe, God will take you the way he has planned to take you. Those thoughts help a lot, don't you think? Yeah.
My husband and I used to fly quite a bit to travel to meetings, and I too had a fear of getting in that airplane, and I'd say, well, I guess that pilot wants to get to his destination as well as I do, so I just will relax and enjoy it. And that really
himself. Yeah, he's in the same plane you are. He don't want to go down either. Okay, now we're going to learn some relaxing techniques here. Something that will help you that when you get in this spot where you're feeling sick and all full of hyperventilation and you're scared to death, we're going to learn some little techniques that might help us. And so, shall we do it out here in the audience?
That's fine.
Okay, let's go out to the studio audience here. And we're going to ask all the audience to relax with us. Okay, do we have some relaxing music here now, folks? Something real slow and easy to relax to now. All right. How many here have a hard time relaxing? I do. I have a hard time relaxing. I'm all hyper all the time. Okay, now, Ann, what's the very first thing we do to relax when one of these things would hit us?
Well, actually, we're going to do two things today, okay? First, I'm going to give you just a few hints when you're having an anxiety attack. But then, secondly, I'm going to teach all of you how to take a 20-minute vacation in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can take it in 20 minutes or you can take it in 5. We only have 5 minutes now. Okay. So first of all, if you are having anxiety, the most important thing to do is to take some deep breaths so that you get over the hyperventilation. Just breathe from the diaphragm.
Okay, come on, everybody. Come on, everybody, join in now. We're relaxing now. That's a deep breath. Why does that relax us, Ann?
Because it puts your oxygen and the carbon dioxide into balance.
Okay.
And you don't do the hyperventilation.
Okay.
You don't have an oversupply of
So we're balancing our oxygen.
And carbon dioxide.
And carbon dioxide,
right,
okay.
Right. So that, and then for the anxiety attack, if you can focus and get your attention out there, don't think about what's going on inside, think about what's going on out there. Find your focus and look at something in detail so that you completely get absorbed in it and you're not thinking about what's happening to you and scaring yourself with all your
Now, what
thoughts.
I will do, I generally grab a book. If I get hyperventilated, start to hyperventilate, I'll grab a book and I'll just walk through the house and just read on one line.
Great.
Just go over and over that one line trying to focus my mind. Is that is that right?
That's the technique. You've got the idea. But you don't have to have a book. You can focus on anything that's out there in your environment.
So whether it's just a tree or a flower or whether it's your piano in your living room or turn on the details. Or turn on the TV and look at the detail of each person's face.
Well, the TV can often turn you back into absorbing yourself.
Oh, can it?
So actually it's better to have something out there that's not
moving. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So now to go on with our vacation, okay? First of all, you start with the 3 deep breaths. So we've already done them, but let's do them once more.
Okay.
And then after the 3rd breath, just gently close your eyes down, okay?
1, 2, 3.
And gently close your eyes.
Now, everybody gently close their eyes.
And I want you to think about a very happy and pleasant memory. Maybe a place that you've been, maybe a song that you enjoy, maybe a color that's your favorite color, but something that makes you very happy, peaceful, serene. And just enjoy being in that memory, in that thought.
Oh, you're peeking, mister. You got to close your eyes. Somebody's
just
peeking.
Relax and let the memories float into your mind.
Now let the memories, you're peeking, ma'am.
Just
close
let them
those
relax.
Papers.
Enjoy your holiday.
Now you're relaxing. You're taking your little vacation here now. Thinking of something beautiful and wonderful.
And let that good feeling well up inside you.
Don't let me scare you, but what are you thinking about? Keep them closed.
Barbados.
Barbados.
Yes.
Sir, what are you thinking about?
A view on the intercoastal in Florida.
Oh, yes. And what are you thinking about?
Florida.
Florida. These people must be on their way. What are you thinking about? Your eyes are supposed to be closed now. We're on our vacation. Now close those eyes. Yes.
When I helped my baby.
Oh, your baby. She's thinking about her baby. What are you thinking about?
A cruise I took this summer.
Oh, and it was wonderful, and the waves were...
Baker.
And it was just wonderful, right?
And I am from Florida.
You're from Florida. So she was thinking about the cruise that she took. What are you thinking about?
My first child.
Your first child. And that makes you happy.
Oh, yes.
That makes you... Okay. Next. Oh, close your eyes. Okay, what you thinking about?
Fishing on the beach.
Oh, yeah, fishing on the beach. All right, what are you thinking about?
A walk my husband and I took right here on Heritage Grand today.
That right. Oh, a nice walk through the woods on a cool day. What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about motoring in the bay on the boat.
Oh, out in the boat. He was out in the bay on a boat. Everybody close your eyes now. This vacation isn't over. Close your eyes. There. I got to keep getting at this man right here. He keeps peeking. Close your eyes. See, at home now, they're gonna be watching to see if your eyes are closed. And we'll be right back after this break to see how this vacation is working, okay?
Thinking about retirement. We'll be right back.
Did you know that becoming a PTL partner is easy? And becoming a PTL partner hasn't changed in a long time. It's still just $15 a month, and that $15 goes a long, long way. With your $15 a month, you're visiting prisoners across the country and sending precious reading materials to isolated inmates. Plus, you're providing a sanctuary for unwed mothers. And $15 a month helps meet the needs of hundreds of families by providing food, clothing, and other essentials to the people that love centers. And PTL is attacking head-on the problem concerning the homeless by building Fort Hope and the Opportunity Farm, all for a mere $15 a month. At $15 a month, you've helped build Heritage USA, where folks can attend workshops to rebuild marriages and inner healing workshops, working to set the inner man free in Christ, and an adoption agency operating to bring childless couples the baby they've been praying for. Become a PTL partner, because your $15 a month touches more lives than you could singly touch in a lifetime.
We're still on our vacation, and we're still, some people are floating in the water, some are fishing, some are, they're just doing all sorts of things. Some are in Florida, some are in Barbados, but everybody is on their little trip right now. Now, say we've been our 20 minutes.
All right. Now, you're going to have a real good feeling about what you've been doing.
Oh, yes. I've enjoyed it.
Great. Now, what you want to do is bring that good feeling with you. And as you count, I will count from 5 to 1.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now you've returned from your vacation. And you've brought that wonderful feeling with you. And any time that you want to relax, just do this for yourself. You can go on a vacation anytime you want.
Wow. If you got 20 minutes, right? Or even 5 minutes. Even 5 minutes. You can go on a 5-minute vacation or a 20-minute vacation. But, you know, I had often heard, too, that if you'll shake out, you know, I've often heard if you shake out, you know, to relax, you shake, first you shake out your hands, then you shake out your arms, and you shake out the top of your body, and you shake out the bottom of your body, and you shake your feet and all, you know, like that. And that kind of pulls all the kinks out, right?
That's true, but if you're riding on a bus...
That's and you start shaking, they're going to get you to a hospital. So still you close your eyes if you're on a bus ride. Oh, guys, you're going to have me sound asleep here. That really does work, Vi. That is a great technique. Does anyone else, before we go to the audience, have any little questions?
Yes, I was in a marching band way back in junior high, and we was being made to stand at a strict attention for between 15 and 30 minutes. And all of a sudden, I started panicking. My eyes, kind of my vision, kind of turned dark. I wonder what caused that.
Well, you might have the tension. By constricting your chest muscles and by constricting your muscles, you go into a hyperventilation.
Just from standing at attention, you go into it. Okay, now we're going to have additions right now. Studio audience additions, being that we're all relaxed now and happy. We've been on vacation. Brittany, are you going to sing for us? Has she changed her? Would Mama. Well, come here a minute. What was she going to sing? Oh, I'll sing it with you, Brittany. I'll sing it right now with you if you want to. Would you like to just stand up on this chair and sing it? I'll sing with you. We've got the... Is that what you sing? Oh, she's changed her mind. Well, where are you from, Brittany?
Where I'm from.
Are you from Kentucky? What do little girls in Kentucky do? You ride horses? No, you don't have a horse. Do you have any animals? You're just a little lonely girl by yourself? But she sings that, don't you? She sings it. Well, that's all right. Well,
I got your tape.
you got my what? Oh, my tape. You've got my tape, so you sing with the tape. Well, you can give me a hug. You can give Tam a hug. That's good. Okay, who else do we have? We have Jean. Shirthy? Where's Jean? Okay, Jean, go on over to the band there, grab that microphone, and Jean is from our studio audience and going to sing a little bit of To God Be the Glory, and Jean's a truck driver, a singing truck driver. Amen. Where are you from, Jean?
Muncie, Indiana.
Muncie, Indiana. We're glad to have you. The singing truck driver, Leah Davis. Leah is going to do We Shall See Him As He Is. Leah, step right up on in. No, we're not going out right now there. Let's kill it, because Leah's going to sing for us. Okay. She's going to sing We Shall See Him As He Is. A little bit of that, and then we will go out. Okay, we've got to give Leah a chance here.
It's as though we see through clouded glass. Our eyes cannot see past this veil of tears, our present pain. This world can never comprehend a love that will not end, the light that always will remain.
Oh, thank you, Leah. Very good. I can't.
Jim and Tammy wish to thank you, the partners and friends of PTL.
TV Linden